Today we have with us Muslims, Hindu, Sikh, Jain, Christian, everybody in one room. So it means spirituality does not have any religion. It's eternal. It is the truth. So a little bit about the program. Our first topic is going to be Introduction to Spirituality and Advaita Vedanta. And then we are going to talk about how to control our mind, because that is the biggest barrier that comes between us and the truth. So we're going to talk about some techniques on how to quiet the mind and how to be happy all the time. And it is possible. It is possible. Another topic is going to be four states of consciousness, karma, soul, the absolute. So we're going to go into details in our program, and we have two very wonderful Yogacharyas with us. Kamal Paudyal from Nepal. He is going to be teaching us yoga. His approach is very holistic. And we have Satywan, who has spent 10 years with Baba Ramdev. If we practice yoga every day, I don't think anybody is going to be sick. So they themselves say we have never been to any hospital or doctors. So later on today, we're going to do a yoga session with Kamal Paudyal, and we have our yoga mats. And very special thanks to Bhimji for the introduction. He is also going to be taking us tomorrow to the different sites in Kathmandu. He will tell you the details about that. Special thanks to Khushi. He has been receiving you from the airport, and he's done a lot of hard work. And of course, Kamal Paudyal for organizing this whole event. Thank you all for coming here today. So do we start our first topic, or what is spirituality? Knowing ourselves beyond name and form is spirituality. That's what it is. We have a body, we have a mind, and we try to identify with that. Most people identify with a body and a mind. But there is a lot more to us than that. And that's what spirituality is about, to see what that is. Some people call it soul, some people call it God. You can call it any name, consciousness. It doesn't matter. Everybody has it. There is no special prerequisites to be a spiritual seeker. It's just sometimes in life we have questions like, who am I? Or why am I here? What's the purpose of this? What are all these people around me? What happens after death? Where was I before I was born? All these questions have answers in spirituality. Actually, there is no answers, but when we go on the path, the questions dissolve. I know it sounds a little bit of a paradox, but that's how it works. Meditation is a tool that takes us to a place where we actually came from. And if we practice meditation like 20 minutes a day, it will really help us in being calm, peaceful, and to be happy. So I know somebody said that their mind is all over the place, and I cannot focus. We have a special technique for that. It's to be practiced for 2 weeks, and it's actually very beneficial. So what we do is we assign ourselves half an hour, actually half an hour to 1 hour a day to practice this technique. And what we do in that 1 hour is whatever thoughts we want to think, anything that is bothering us, we think about it and do it in that 1 hour. The rest of the day, we have to be aware of our thoughts. Any thought that comes and doesn't serve us in this moment, let it go. You tell yourself that I have 1 hour and I'm going to think about that then. And we just keep on doing this whole day, Like right now, we're sitting here, we are present in this moment. We don't have to be anywhere else. So just focus in the present moment. We don't have to, think about anything else. Most people are living in the past or worrying about the future. And people who think about the past, it causes depression. People who worry about the future, it causes anxiety. People who stay in the present moment are in bliss. That's why our name is Bliss Foundation. So this technique has to be practiced for 2 weeks. It's a technique for reprogramming the mind. 1 hour, come home, and just think whatever you want to think, the past, the present, worrying, anger, everything. But the rest of the time, just let it go, let it go. And within 2 weeks, you will see a big change in yourself. Our mind is conditioned to just, jump all over the place. It's not that hard. It actually does work. People have come out of depression and anxiety just by this technique. Be in the present moment, and it's okay if you forget it sometimes. Just bring yourself back and say, it's okay, I'm here in the present moment. I'm working. I'm sitting with somebody. Just don't let your mind wander all over the place. This is the very first step in spirituality, to control our mind. Otherwise, it's very hard. Does everybody understand? Okay, so this is a technique that, if you practice it, that's the first step. And with this, if you do 20 minutes of meditation every day, it will help a lot. What is meditation? Meditation means doing nothing. Just sit and close your eyes and just breathe. Focus on your breathing. If you're a beginner and you're not able to meditate, your mind is wandering all over the place. So I would suggest count your breath. Like inhale and exhale, 1. Inhale, exhale, 2, 3. Just count your breath. It's just the purpose of this is to focus on one point. Otherwise, your mind won't wander. In the beginning, we start counting. After that, we can leave the counting and we can just focus on our breath. I know it's hard to sit and do nothing, but that's the whole purpose of spirituality, to do nothing. Otherwise, we cannot know the truth if the mind is always in the way. So if you practice meditation for 20 minutes a day, you will see that you feel a lot of peace and calmness in you, and you become slower. You don't have all this rush and anxiety and depression. Nowadays, at least in America, if you are more than 30 years old, you are on so many prescription drugs for one thing or another. But if people practice yoga, meditation, and just some awareness, life is very beautiful then. We don't have to go through all these things. Human body is not designed to be sick. It's abnormal to be sick, but nowadays we feel that being sick is normal. Our own body has a mechanism of fighting everything, but we just overload it with all sorts of non-organic foods, and our mind just, is so negative, and it attracts all these diseases to ourselves. If you see Yogacharyas, they have no diseases, they have no problem. So that's the introduction to spirituality, some techniques, how to practice it, and this technique of 1 hour a day, some meditation, and just be aware. That's, it's very simple. It just has to be practiced, that's all. And Advaita Vedanta, our teachings are based on Advaita Vedanta. So what is Advaita? Do you all know what is Advaita Vedanta or no? Okay. We have the Vedas, and after the Vedas, we have something called Upanishads. These are scriptures written by different rishis. They don't have any authors, they're authorless. And they just talk about their own experiences. Vedanta means what came after the Vedas. After the Vedas are Upanishads. Advait means duality. Duality is we see everything separate. This is me, this is you, this is a building, this is this. That's Dvait. Duality. Advait means non-duality. And it says that everything is one. It only appears to be different. Right now we see all these things, but somebody who understands Advaita Vedanta knows that everything is one. And what we see is an illusion. I know that's hard to understand that this is an illusion, but it is. We call it Maya. So Advaita Vedanta has 3 steps. The first step is to understand. First you have to understand the topic that we're talking about. You may agree or you may not agree, but the first step is to understand it. Second step is to believe it. Means that it makes sense. Third, we experience it with meditation. So these are the 3 steps, how we teach Advaita Vedanta. There are many different paths for seeking, and different paths are suitable for different people. Advaita Vedanta is one of them. And I would say that it is something that bypasses a lot of other longer paths, But people have different personalities and different paths are suitable for different people. But I would say if somebody understands the philosophy and concept of Advaita Vedanta, you don't really need anything else. That's, all you need. So that's an introduction to spirituality and Advaita Vedanta. Does anybody have any questions?
Is that a book, Advaita Vedanta?
No, Advaita Vedanta is just 2 words. Vedanta means, what came after the Vedas. So usually it means the Upanishads. Upanishads are 108 books. And they are experiences by different rishis, seers. Rishis means seers who just share their own experience of the truth. Advaita means non-duality.
I just find that in recent times, there's been so much of new ageism regarding spirituality and anything connected with spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
So I often find that sometimes it becomes so easy to use spirituality, in the sense of bypassing very important issues one is going through.
Mm-hmm.
So as a spiritual teacher, as a guru, would you recommend that we, at first, I think we shouldn't use spirituality as a way, but rather focus, this kind of danger of spiritual bypassing, when you're not dealing with important issues, which, psychological issues. So in that sense, do you think that there could be an interface between psychology and spirituality? And then it becomes a very psycho-spiritual approach to growth and healing.
Actually,
this in the context of, a lot of things which I see around me, and also based on my own journey.
a lot of people enter spirituality because of some tragic event in their life, some trauma, because they are not able to deal with it. They are in so much pain. And this is a way of existence, of pushing us towards the truth, And I don't think that spirituality is like a Band-Aid or bypassing something. It is the truth. And when we on a spiritual path, then everything starts making sense. And it's not that anything changes in our life. Everything remains the same. It's just the way we see it is different. Because we see everything as a witness, People tend to identify themselves with what's happening in the present moment. But in reality, that moment is gone and life goes on. But we are still that person experiencing it. So what was your question about psychology?
Whether you can sort of evolve a psycho-spiritual approach, where psychology interfaces with spirituality to effect healing, transformation?
I mean, psychology is also part of spirituality, but it's very limited. It's very beneficial for many people, but it's not for self-realization. It's not something, it's just, you know, to, help somebody going through a hard time. But it's not going to take you to your true self. You know, they say think positive things and, be nice and do all these sort of things. That's okay, but that's not going to take you to your true self. Thank you so much.